Sardica, your dad. I was thinking about what you were talking about last night, and I think you're right on. I hope you continue thinking just about what you are thinking and follow your lead of whatever you're doing good. Just be careful of what you say when you say it, or whom you say it to. But I think you're doing real good. So I'm proud of you.
Good day, collective. I get really emotional. Like, actually finding that video clip, I saved a lot of video recordings my dad left me, and it is such a fulfilling thing when you have that one person or several people who really believe in you, who see you when no one else sees you, when they understand you when there's not a lot of people that actually understand you. And that was my dad. And I miss him. It's your girl, the Most High. I'm sorry, y'all got emotional. It's your girl, Sadie Rose, coming to you with today's word. I am going to touch this earth. Hearing that message from my dad, him telling me how proud he was of me because of the stuff I was doing, legislation and policy and impacting people's lives. He would always tell me I should run for office. He always told me how proud of he was of me. And I swear that voice is like reaching over time, to talk to me now when I really need to hear it. And he always used to tell this story. He always would tell a story, and I hated it growing up, you know. And he would just tell it over and over. He would tell it to our family. He would tell it to my siblings. He would tell it to his friends. He would tell it to anybody that would listen. And I always would like sink and make sure like, oh, daddy, here we go again. But pretty much it was when I was 3, I think. The whole family was running around this big track in Muncie, Indiana. And the whole family dropped out running with him. And I guess, and I remember this. This is a memory I remember at 3. But I kept running, and even though I was struggling, I like just kept running behind him. And I kept running because he wouldn't stop. I wouldn't stop. And after that, he realized, he said, he always would tell people, I realized who Sadaka was then at that moment. This girl was special. And he would always say it to talk about like how I went to Culver, my high school, and how I went to Princeton and the work I was doing. But he would always say, that's how I knew how special Sadaka was. And I hated him telling that story. Not because I didn't think I deserved it. I hated it because of how other people responded. They either would act like they were jealous or envious. They would act like it didn't matter at all and been like, oh, okay, or like they would completely not listen at all, like brush him off and on to the next thing. No one would ever be like, oh my gosh, Sadaka, that's so wonderful, and like, what do you tell me about what you're working on now? Or tell me about what you're doing in school, or tell me about your accomplishments. I mean, it would happen on occasion, people would respond like that, but most people was very negative. Like, they wanted to like trivialize it, like they had a bad reaction. They would look at me differently, or they would like start cracking jokes like, oh, you went to Princeton, well, do you know this? Oh, you're not too smart. Like that's what they would do. And one thing, that experience now as an older adult, I look back at, I realized several things. One is that my dad was my nucleus. My mom cared for me and loved for me in a way that I needed to. My dad was my nucleus, my core, my faith, my bedrock, my chairman of my board of advisors. And he believed in me. Because he believed in me, that propelled me forward even harder. And that is much in a way that God has always been for my life. And I'm coming to understand older. And so my dad is with me, you know, as an ancestor now, as a protector, and always guiding me. My dad is still with me, and my dad, my father, the Most High God, is my bedrock. And through God, everything emanates for me. And so, regardless if no one else sees me, regardless if no one recognizes me, regardless if no one gives me my flowers, regardless if I never get praised, regardless if I do everything and it helps tremendously and no one sees me, it'll be fine. And that has been consistent throughout my whole life. I will never stop being who I am. Not because based on any of those things, because I just am what I am. I am who I am. And I am here to make a great impact. And I have made a great impact in the work that I've done and the thousands of people's lives that I have changed. That they'll never know. They'll never know. You know, and the people that I did the work for, they're not telling, so they'll never know. And it's not always the case. I'm not saying my job, but it's just other people, funders, you know, they do the work and they say, oh, we did it, you know. That's life, working for public officials, you know, you do it for them so that they can take the credit. But they'll never know. And so ever since I was 3 running on that track, this girl, one, has always made an impact and touched this earth. 2, the impact has always been profound and significant. And I take great pride in the quality of the work that I do, in its effectiveness, in its far reach. 3, I will always have my bedrock and my faith in God that anchors me, my intuition that guides me, that sets me on a course, that keeps me on course, that gives warning signals when I'm off. I am so excited now that I finally have a clear indication of who I really am supposed to be here as a spiritual leader, spiritual practitioner, teacher, friend, loving friend. I am really going to touch this earth now that I have within my vision what I'm actually supposed to do. I think I will not underwrite anything I've done up to this point. Every bit of everything I've ever done has implications, has helped so many people. But I am really excited about creating the new world with my family, with my community, starting in my household, expanding it out, sharing with all of you everything I know, learning and growing together, laughing together, being fulfilled together, reimagining how we want to love, how we want to live, how we want to feel, how we want to explore, how we want to learn, how we want to experience, how we want to laugh, how we want to sing, how we want to dance. How do we want to process life? How do we take care of each other? Not only from a very young age in terms of the type of environments we should have our families and our kids and the types of learnings that we should have, including talking about food, including talking about arts, including talking about energy, including talking about wealth. But also, how do we care for those elders? What is their role in our families? What is the legacy that they have? We should be celebrating them and upholding them and giving them the fullest quality of life after taking care of us and loving us. I'm going to make this mark on earth, because that is what I've been sent here to do. And there is literally nothing that can change that trajectory of my life. I have full faith and confidence. One thing about me is I know when I got my vision on something, I will find a way. whether it's writing these books, all 14 of them I have pinned down to come, whether it is working with very talented artists and producing and funding them, whether it's being a philanthropist, to share my wealth of knowledge and resources to inspire these young minds, to launch us into the new world we all know we deserve. I'm so excited for what is to come. Much love, y'all. Peace.